Dennis Shanahan, National Editor for The Australian. Tell us about the role Stage 3 tax cuts are playing in the lead up to the Dunkley by-election.
Well, Greg, it's really a question of what role the Dunkley by-election is playing in the Stage 3 tax cuts. What we've actually seen is the Prime Minister yesterday and today just say, right, it's all about Dunkley, it's about the Stage 3 tax cuts, the revamped cuts, are all about people earning less than $45,000. He keeps talking about Dunkley, and it is clear that the whole idea of the timing and the shape of the Stage 3 tax cuts recasting was all about Dunkley. And the Prime Minister has now put the Stage 3 tax cuts centre stage in the Dunkley by-election.
Tell us about the expectation management going on for Labor and the Coalition as far as what both of them are saying would be a good result. They're quite different.
They certainly are, and for very different reasons. Certainly, if the government gets a swing towards it, which is highly unlikely, that would be a complete victory for Anthony Albanese. But it is far more likely there will be a swing against the government, maybe not enough to actually lose the seat, which would be 7%. But what we're seeing now is a real battle over massaging the expectations. The Prime Minister was out there last week saying, oh, it's a 7% swing's the average. But actually, he was choosing his own figures, using statistics, because that swing for a government-held seat is only since the Hawke government and not all by-elections. So what they're all trying to say is 7% or up to 7%. Albanese says he'll be doing better than average, whereas the opposition is saying anything more than a 2% swing, the average where a local MP has died, will be a bad mark for Anthony Albanese. So we've got a fight between about 2 to 3% and 7% about what this will actually mean.
And why is this by-election important for both leaders?
Well, it's certainly important for Peter Dutton, who lost the Aston by-election, the first time that an opposition had lost a seat to a government in 100 years. But it's even more important now for Anthony Albanese because he's turned this into a referendum on the tax cuts, on his judgment, his political judgment, and his integrity. He's saying, oh, I'll be forgiven for breaking a promise. I'll be forgiven for being called the liar in the lodge because people will appreciate the tax cuts. This is an all-in fight from Anthony Albanese, and if he loses the Dunkley by-election, it'll be the first time in 100 years that the government in situ has actually lost a by-election of this size. So I think that both leaders are playing Dunkley by-election for keeps. It's all in, and there's going to be one winner and one loser.